Hi everyone, I'm Taylor. We're going to look at Blender today. Blender is a free program that you can use for any 3D designs or rendering. In this case, I use ZBrush all the time, but it doesn't actually have a render. So if you go to blender.org, you can press on Download Blender 2.912, and it'll take you to the download screen, and you click Download Blender, and this will download it, and you can install it from there. You can also run it on Mac, Linux, and other versions. So when you open Blender, you're going to get a splash screen that looks like this. You can set some basic settings, and then it'll take you into the main interface where there's a cube, a camera, and what looks to be a light. All of the scene collection items are over here. And don't know what I'm doing right off the start. Usually when I get into a 3D program, I like to mess around modeling some basic spheres, trying to figure things out. The interface, here's the move tool, we got the rotate tool and the scale tool. Let's go ahead and delete the cube. Looks like you have to use the delete button instead of the backspace button. Object menu. Looks like your basic functions, adding meshes, curves. So this is similar to adding different subtools like ZBrush. So here we have the cube, object mode, edit mode, sculpt mode. We have the vertex select, edge select, and face select. Now I want to rotate the view. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. Okay, so this button toggles the camera view if you want to look through the camera directly. We can pan side to side in the main view. Gonna look at the preferences for a second. So it looks like if you go into key map and click down on industry compatible and click close, you can use the Alt left click and rotate around your object. If you hold down Alt and right click, you can zoom in. Let's go back to edit mode and click on a face, drag it out. If we click on face, you can extrude the faces. For switching between the transform, rotate, and scale tools, you can use W, E, and R on the keyboard. And if we hold down Alt and use the middle mouse button, we can pan in the view. let's do a vertical split view, and it brings up the controller to split the window of how much you want to. So on this side, I'm going to make this the camera view, and let's change the settings for the camera. So down here is the object data properties, and this will be the focal length of the camera, kind of like zooming in and out. Let's make this into a car, or try to. Holding down shift while rotating an object will give you a finer rotational degree, whereas not holding down shift will make it rotate quicker. Control D for duplicating. If I don't want the duplicated object to move, we're going to hold down Control D, and currently we can move it around, but if we don't want it to move at all and put it in the exact same spot as this guy, we're going to hit Escape and it will place it in the scene. Step back into edit mode. Now I can't see this vertex, so we're going to drag around the object and it looks like it'll pick it up. So if a vertex is hidden, you can drag a marquee around the vertex area. Usually like to throw some standard materials at this. Let's figure that out. Maybe texture paint. Classy purple. Oh, we got modeling mode. So this would be all the extrude, inset faces, bevel. Let's mess around with these. That makes extrusions a lot easier. Multiple extrusions for our funky little block car. Different ways to make extrusions. This is the inset faces. So if you want to inset a face, drag it in, scale it, and then we can pull it out. Let's do another extrusion. double clicking on one face, we'll select the ring of faces. So now that we've selected the ring, we're going to scale up to get a tire. So we're going to click on the white circle, and it looks like this scales up to be a tire. So we don't have symmetry turned on. Let's go out of edit mode, back to object mode. Mirror. And let's try an X local. Let's go ahead and duplicate this tire. So we're going to hit Control D or duplicate objects. And we're going to hit escape. And we're going to mirror on the X global axis. Can't exactly figure out how to do like a mirrored weld in ZBrush. We're going to go into Edge Select, and we're going to double click this ring, and we're going to put it back into the box. So, kind of a fake way to get around things right now. So now we have two tires on our fancy car. Again, just playing around. Haven't exactly played in Blender before, so still getting used to the program. We can change the lighting type from point, sun, spot, and area. So spotlight will give you the fall off direction. You can change all these settings, the direction of it, play with it. If we want what looks to be real shadows, you could do viewport shading, depending on how good your computer is. This is the rendered light, so you can get a better idea of what the final render will look like. Let's do render image. Kind of all gray and mushy right now, so let's go ahead and change the color if we can. Texture, material. So this looks like to be our material properties palette. The base color, let's give it a red. Let's take these two tires, and we're going to hit Control D and then escape, and we're going to move them forward just to replace the other tires that we had before. Let's add another light for the other side. We're going to do a spotlight. Watts of power. So we're going to change this to 500. And we're going to duplicate this light. We're going to keep it in the same area, but we're going to change the direction of it. and smooth out the edges. Okay, so if we click on this little modifier properties tab with the wrench, we can add different modifiers. So we're going to go to smooth, and there we go. Let's try and add a windshield, maybe some glass material. Okay, so if we add a new material and then select the faces of the car, click assign, it looks like it assigns the glass material to just those faces. So let's go ahead and do another render, see what we got. Some basic glass texture. Usually there's a basic render option, and then there's usually like a high setting, kind of like Mental Ray, if you've ever used Maya and 3D Studio Max. Render engine. Let's try cycles. So this is kind of like a higher quality render setting. So we can change our render properties here. GPU if you have a good GPU, or we can render with the CPU. We'll try the GPU. For output properties, I'm going to change to 640 by 480. There we go, our little basic car. Oh, so it renders in the main view too, if you change your render properties. So let's go back to this one. Well, again, this is my first day using Blender. Lots to learn. I'm sure there's books. For this version of Blender, it's the 2.91.2 version. You can go to the help menu for manuals, tutorials, support. There's user communities and a whole bunch more that you can check out. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sure there's much to learn in Blender. I look forward to using it for all my ZBrush models for rendering them out. In a future video, we'll bring one of the ZBrush models in that we created before, and we'll see what we can do with it. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more fun content, and we'll see you later. Bye for now.